Now go to the gentleman from California, if he's ready, Mr. Schiff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There's no doubt that AI has the potential to change our economy, our political system, our day-to-day life, and potentially in very good ways and also very disruptive ways. AI has opened a world of opportunity for creators, whether that's utilizing pioneering technology to isolate vocal tracks or generate unique compositions that artists can incorporate into their works. But we have to balance technological advancement with the protection of individual creators' rights, ensuring that progress does not come at the expense of the creative community. After all, human creativity powers AI and makes these advancements possible. As has been raised during the hearing today, the rapid development of generative AI technologies has outpaced existing copyright laws, which has led to widespread use of creative content to train generative AI models without consent or compensation. As you were indicating, that might violate the copyright laws. This is why yesterday I introduced the Generative AI Copyright Disclosure Act, which will further innovation and safeguard the contribution of creators, ensuring that at a minimum they're aware of when their work contributes to AI training data sets. Similar to proposals put forward in the EU, my bill mandates transparency from companies by requiring they disclose a summary of copyrighted works used to train AI systems, ensuring creators are informed and have the tools to advocate for credit or compensation where it's due. This bill is a step, and only a first step in this direction, and I welcome the opportunity to work with members of the subcommittee to champion innovation while safeguarding the rights and contributions of creators. Very grateful to have the support of many leading organizations in the creative industry, including the Human Artistry Campaign, Recording Industry Association of America, SAG-AFTRA, and IATSE, to name a few. Now that I've finished the commercial announcement, one primary concern many of these creative groups have is that generative AI models will replace writers in the writing room, actors on set, or artists in the recording studio. Let me start, if I can, Professor Garcia. While new technologies like AI offer a breadth of advancements in the production space to utilize or partner with, what can creators, many of whose livelihood depends on copyright protection, expect in terms of AI authorship decisions from the Copyright Office? What do you anticipate?
Thank you for the question. I think that given the guidance that we've seen so far, which as I mentioned previously is a really small set, right? We've got 4 such generative AI produced works, registration determinations. If the work is wholly or substantially generated by AI, they can expect that the Copyright Office will not grant protection. Where it's partially AI generated, the Copyright Office, as we've been discussing, appears to be taking a disclose and disclaim approach, which is easier said than done, but the notion being that what would happen if you wanted to secure copyright registration in a work for which an artist had used generative AI, they may have to first disclose that they've done so, and then second, make a good faith attempt to describe how much of the work was done by generative AI. And I think here a really important distinction to make that I've been seeing from the questions and from testimony today is the difference between using AI as a tool, much like a paintbrush, and generative AI, which is actually creating something new. And I think it's the latter that really adds challenges. Artists should not be concerned about using AI as a tool to aid in their creativity, only when they're using generative AI to substitute for their creativity.
And where do you draw the line of human versus AI authorship, and how do you think that the specific material an AI model is trained on should be considered? And I would throw that open to the whole panel.
Sure, so I'll start. I think that I wish I knew exactly where to draw the line. I'll say again that I'd love to see more of these applications come in so we can see what people are doing with the generative AI to get a sense of it. If I had to give one criteria now, it would be to consider whether the final product reflects the original intellectual conception of a human. And if so, then I think I would lean toward granting copyright protection.
That is very hard to define, isn't it?
Yes.
Would others care to weigh in?
Sure. Creativity is hard to define as well. So I think that this is part and parcel of copyright is how do we say that something is creative? How do we define creativity? In the context of AI, I agree with Professor Garcia completely that it's Was the human using it as a tool? I think it was the ranking member that mentioned auto-tune, which is its own form of AI and has been used for, I don't know if it's decades now, but for quite a while. And we've seen similar tools in the patent context. Those tools are fine. The generative AI is where it can step over that line, and I don't think we have equivalents in the patent space yet, certainly not on the tech side, and I'm hearing not really on the bio side, where you just say, give me this, and it spits something out. If we get to that point, then that will become much more of an important question on patents. Right now, it's probably not.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I thank my colleague, and I might note I also thank him for the submission of his bill, and I know that yours and Mr. Klein's bills, is forthcoming, are going to be taken up by this subcommittee, so I appreciate your thoughtful work on that. We now go to the gentleman from Maryland.